Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Middle School Information Night. Thank you for being here. I'm Catherine Ashby. I am the Interim Assistant Superintendent of School and Community Relations. I'm actually also an elementary school parent at APS, and I recently went through that transition, so I know what a big deal these transitions are. So thanks for being here. Just by a show of hands, I'd love to see how many of you are preparing to send your first child to middle school next year. So pretty much everybody. Okay, great. So probably in the winter of 2013, which was almost 6 years ago, many of you were probably attending an evening very similar to this one, preparing to send your child to elementary school. And you made it through that transition and all the many events and milestones that followed, so congratulations on that. And tonight, we're here to assist you in preparing for the next transition to middle school. It's a big step in your child's public school education journey, and there are many staff members and resources available here tonight to help you. Joining me, Cynthia Johnson and Tyrone Bird, along with our middle school principals and a number of APS administrators and staff. We are ready to answer questions and help you navigate the process. To start this evening's program, can everybody hear me? Okay, good. To start this evening's program, Cynthia Johnson, our interim superintendent for Arlington Public Schools, will begin with some introductions.
So good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Cynthia Johnson. I'm the interim superintendent, and I've had a long, wonderful career in Arlington, starting out as a teacher and moving into administrative positions before moving into an assistant superintendent. So at this time, I have the pleasure of introducing you to our phenomenal middle school principals who are very passionate about education and student success. It takes a very special person to be an administrator of a middle school. And I had the opportunity to be in middle school as well. I love the students in middle school because they're trying to figure out their path and figure out who they are. So we do have a group of individuals that I think do a fantastic job. So when I call your name, if you would please stand so that our families are able to see you. So I'd like to start with Dr. Lori Wiggins. So I'm going to now introduce you to Dr. Casey Robinson, who is H.B. Woodlawn principal. I'd like to introduce you to Keisha Bogan, the principal at Thomas Jefferson. Ellen Smith, who is the principal of Dorothy Ham Middle School. Our next middle school principal is David McBride, who is the principal at Kenmore. I'd like to introduce everyone to Renee Harbor, who's the principal at Swanson. And now I'd like to introduce you to the principal at Williamsburg Middle School, Brian Boykin. I'll tell you, they are really phenomenal middle school principals and assistant principals and docs at each of their site. But I'd also like to share with you that they're a phenomenal group in terms of how they work together in the best interest of all of APS. So again, thank you principals for all your work and your team. I do want to share that we developed a new strategic plan that's designed for the next 6 years. It was based on staff and community involvement, and it's designed to identify areas for school system improvement. It is important to note that a committee comprised of parents and students developed this strategic plan that was made to guide the direction of the school division in the coming years. I encourage everyone to truly become familiar with this document. Each year, the school board and the public receives a report on the progress made within each strategic plan goal during the preceding year, with the opportunity for modification to the strategic plan as warranted. Again, I encourage everyone to read the plan and to learn more about it and how it guides and affects the education of all of our students and your child in particular. You can see all this information on our website. From the strategic plan, we typically will identify goals that we try to focus on. We have multiple performance objectives that guide us on how to achieve the goals. And as a school division, we are focusing on improving 3 top priorities this year. One has to do with increasing achievement for all reporting groups on division and state assessments to show progress towards eliminating the opportunity gap. Another one is the key findings on our student survey, which is the Your Voice Matters survey and the Youth Risk Behavior survey. We want to be able to show that there's an improvement in mental health measures and access to mental health resources. We know our students need a lot of support, and we have many resources available to support them in the area of the social and emotional well-being, which is an important part for APS. The last goal we're focusing on is that all students will be able to identify one school-based adult who supports and encourages their academic and personal growth. And I want to invite every parent to really have that conversation and asking their child if they have a trusted adult in the school, and perhaps to talk about it a little bit more and dig a little deeper. Why is that person someone that you can trust? Why is that person someone you can talk to? We want every student to have at least one individual. And believe me, I've had many conversations with students, and some will tell me they have many more. I had one student tell me 20. These elevated priorities focus on the whole child by ensuring that we provide the necessary social emotional supports so all our students can learn and thrive in safe, healthy, and supportive learning environments. So tonight, it's all about supporting students and families on the journey to middle school. I encourage your active participation in the planning process. In middle school, an assigned school counselor will be working with your child annually to develop a 6-year academic plan that reflects his or her interests and the courses required for graduation. Please talk with the principal, the counselors, and teachers about what supports are available in the school. Express your collective aspiration and goals as your child transitions from middle school to high school and to college and career. So at this point, I want to share and introduce a video, A Path Towards Middle School.
The academic decisions students make today will have a direct impact in their high school, college, and career experiences. Here in Arlington Public Schools, we begin with the end in mind by setting goals and high expectations so our students develop the foundational skills needed to tackle the rigorous middle and high school courses coming ahead. Our administrators, faculty, and staff are here to help families and students experience a smooth transition from elementary to middle school.
This whole purpose of transition is to make sure that the stress level goes down so that the academics can flourish. And for me, that transition starts to happen in 5th grade.
So parents, we encourage you to stay involved and be active in your child's academic and social career. Check Canvas, the assignment notebooks, talk to teachers, ask your students what happened during the day. We noticed throughout their middle school years that students do experience varying levels of stress. We ask that parents keep an eye on that and communicate any types of concerns that they may have to school so that we as our staff, our counselors, our teachers can also support students.
We are purposeful and deliberate to make sure that those experiences, not only for parents and for kids, answer again the burning questions that they have and they get just the right information for the next step that they need to take.
Developing and sustaining positive social relationships with peers and adults will in turn drive success for students. Arlington Public Schools nurtures students' intellectual, personal, social, and emotional well-being with services to enable students' full potential. We promote the development of internal and external assets in students through dynamic partnerships between parents and schools, as well as comprehensive physical, mental health, and wellness services.
Today, we get a chance to talk about your future. We're going to take all that information and we're going to put it on one of these forms. It's an academic planning form. The academic planning discussions that we have with our students, at its core, is really all about getting them actively, constructively involved. Parents are absolutely a huge part of this process, because what we're trying to do is stimulate discussions between parents and kids. But we also want them to be actively seeking out opportunities that help them prepare themselves for their personal journey. This is where you think you're heading, and this is how you're going to get there.
With a challenging and comprehensive education, we engage in robust efforts to shift towards more personalized learning. Students are placed at the center and teachers seek out the best instructional approaches to connect each one to the skills and knowledge needed for mastery. We recognize the omnipresent nature of technology in our students' world, and teachers are shifting instruction from a practice of imparting knowledge to one that challenges each student to synthesize, analyze, and apply information in new ways. Creative solutions to problems provide students with a deeper understanding of issues and an increased ability to work collaboratively across multiple cultures. We are excited to embark on this journey where our students experience a passion for learning, are inquisitive and open-minded, and become responsible citizens of the world.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ty Bird, Director of Secondary Education. I'm a proud member of Arlington Community, been here since 1976, graduated from Arlington Public Schools with Dave McBride over there. And Dave and I, we're old now because John Kustaftikas was my player and student at Yorktown High School a long time ago, so I'm officially old. How many of you graduated from a Arlington school? Look at that, it's awesome, great. Thanks for bringing your children back to our amazing school system. Our path toward middle school or through middle school begins in January, when your students are going to be visited by a middle school counselor, and they'll spend time with your child talking about the transition to middle school. So they'll come to the middle schools and have conversations with you. You'll get an opportunity to visit with our program of studies. The program of studies is an important document where you get an opportunity to see what each course looks like that your child will be taking while they're in middle school. Also in January, you'll see that the HB lottery is going to be completed. In February, middle school counselors are going to visit the elementary schools and talk to them about the course selection and have course selection sessions. And then there's a deadline to accept the admissions that you participated in the lottery process. That happens in February. And then in March, rising sixth grade course request forms are going to be due to their school's counselor. And in April, middle school orientations will begin, and your students will have an opportunity to visit their middle schools. Here you'll see the scope and sequence of the matriculation from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. In the 6th grade, you see the students enroll in core classes in English, reading, one of the maths, grade 6 science, history, and then also health and physical education. They will also participate in the 6th grade exploratory wheel, where they'll get an opportunity to visit with the elective courses that are available through the school. You'll learn a little bit more about that this evening when you visit their individual sessions, exactly which course offerings are available in the exploratory wheel. In the 7th grade, again, you'll have grade 7 English, a mathematics course, a science course, U.S. history or a social sciences course, and then health and physical education. And then you begin to have opportunities or greater opportunities to take electives in the arts and career and technical education, English courses where we have reading strategies, journalism, and then media journalism, and also mathematics where you could enroll in math strategies, and then the world languages. And then in the 8th grade, I still have an English course, a math course, physical science, world geography, health and physical education, and then even further opportunities for elective courses. Many of those courses that you see in the 8th grade carry high school credit. So you get an opportunity to increase rigor and earn high school credit while you're in middle school. Every student will have that opportunity in social studies, many in mathematics, and some in robotics. So the middle school day begins at 7:40 with the first bell, and then class begins at 7:50. And then school is over at 2:24, so that's got to be good, right? All right. And after school is over, we're going to talk a little bit later about what we encourage you to do after the school day is over, but 2:24 shouldn't really end the school day. So getting involved. You saw the amazing people that are going to serve as your administrators in the building. They have amazing energy. And what Ms. Johnson said about them being special people and loving the middle school kid, they absolutely do. I served as an assistant principal at a middle school for 4 years. It's all I could take. These guys love that age group, and they do an amazing job with each and every one of them. So we're excited about them serving in that capacity. But please encourage your children to be involved in the school that they attend. Join a club, be a member of the band, try out for a play, be on the stage crew, anything that they can do to be involved in the school. As Ms. Johnson said, we are working to develop connections with your children. If they stay longer than the regular school day, they'll get an opportunity to meet adults that care about them and can help them guide through what can be some tumultuous school years. So again, join School Student Council. That's an awesome way to serve your community as a leader, and make sure that you're preparing yourself to do those exact same things when you move into high school. Okay, now I'm going to invite Catherine back up.
Thank you. I'm going to talk a little bit more about option programs and the application processes and details. So option schools and programs provide specialized instructional programs, and there are 3 middle school option programs available. HB Woodlawn. HB Woodlawn has 75 slots for the 6th grade class. Seats at HB Woodlawn are allocated proportionately based on the size of grade 5 cohorts in each elementary school that indicates students enrolled in option programs in this number, and based on the number of students who were not previously enrolled in APS who applied to the program. An email with more information with the slot allocations has been sent to all families and is available online. Second, the Spanish Immersion Program offered at Gunston Middle School is open to those students who have completed an elementary Spanish Immersion Program. So those students, all students will be accepted if currently enrolled at either Key or Claremont, and this helps us to plan for the year ahead. Third, students who have completed an elementary Montessori program may attend the Gunston Middle Years Montessori Middle Years program at Gunston. All students will be accepted if currently attending Montessori Public School of Arlington. Again, this helps us to plan for the year ahead. One other thing I wanted to note is that for option programs, bus transportation is provided to students who are accepted to any of the programs and who live outside of the option school's walk zone. The option program's application process and timeline. The online application for options and transfers will be available online on Monday, November the 4th at 10 p.m. We will send a school talk message with details and a link to remind families that the application is available. The school board timeframe to apply is Monday, November 4th until Friday, January 17th, 2020. This is not a first-come, first-served process, so you can apply anytime during the application window. Complete the online application. If you want to apply for more than one option, you can select multiple schools on the application. And in the event that there are more applications than available slots for a program or school, a lottery is held to determine admission. There's also no sibling preference when applying for secondary option programs. So if an older sibling attends a particular school, that does not guarantee admission for a younger sibling. Twins or triplets, multiples, are admitted as one. Waitlist, one thing to note is that the waitlists are no longer, roll over from school year to school year. So families must reapply every year if interested in an option school or program. If you previously applied to an option school or program and were placed on a wait list, you'll have to reapply again to be considered for a slot. Neighborhood schools. APS currently has 6 neighborhood middle school zones, and that includes the new middle school, the new Dorothy Ham Middle School that opened this fall. Neighborhood transfers. Every student is guaranteed admission to the middle school serving the attendance area in which the student resides and neighborhood transfers are available to the extent possible, given financial constraints and capacity limits. So APS will announce the number of neighborhood transfers available on February 3rd, 2020, following the superintendent's annual enrollment update. Transfers will be based on fall 2019 10-year projections and school capacity. This is a change in timing from our previous approach to the neighborhood transfer process, so I did want to highlight that. It allows us to provide an accurate number of neighborhood transfer slots for schools that will be accepting transfers. So once neighborhood transfer application, the application period opens, families will be able to apply for a neighborhood transfer by completing a transfer application. If the number of applications does exceed the available spots, there again will be a lottery to determine admission. A little bit about the timeline. So the online application for neighborhood transfers will be available online Monday, February 24th at 8 a.m. We'll send a school talk message that day with a link so that families can apply and so that you know it's available. Again, it's also not a first come, first serve. So just apply online anytime during the application window. Complete the application online. Again, if you want to apply for more than one neighborhood transfer, you can do so. Just select multiple schools. And also, if there are more applications received than available slots, we will hold a lottery. There's no sibling preference when applying for neighborhood transfer in secondary schools. So again, the same rules apply. Twins or multiples, again, are admitted as one. So wait lists for middle school neighborhood transfers will be maintained until May 1st, 2020. And after May 1st, students will no longer be pulled from the wait list. All right, so how to apply. We have continued to improve our application process so that it's user-friendly and seamless for all. The online application portal should make it easy for you to apply and to check your application status at any time. Here's a little bit of information for you to help you with the application process. Families must create an account to complete an option and transfer application. Families can create an account using an email address or a phone number, and families will be able to easily complete applications for multiple students. The application can be accessed using a PC, tablet, or a smartphone, and families can select to receive their lottery notification by text, email, or both. You'll be able to check your status on the waitlist through the online application portal. I did want to note that families that don't have computer or internet access will be able to visit the schools, your child's school or the APS Welcome Center, and we can help complete the process. School information sessions. All Arlington middle schools schedule an evening session to provide parents with an opportunity to visit the schools, meet the principals, tour the buildings, and get a general sense of the personalities and differences for each of the middle schools. So all parents of rising middle school students are encouraged to attend. We hope that you will do that and take advantage of one of the dates on the screen. No RSVP is required, and the session dates are all listed also in the guidebook. One note about immunizations for sixth graders. Virginia law requires 2 additional vaccines for middle school students. One HPV. That vaccine is required for all girls entering 6th grade. Parents may opt out by not vaccinating. No letter or certification of opt-out status is required. There's also a change with the Tdap, tetanus, diphtheria, and acellular pertussis. This booster is required for all students before 7th grade. Again, that is a change in the law that happened this year. So families are required to provide proof of the Tdap booster before students return to school for 7th grade. While it's not required, it is also recommended that males also receive 3 doses of the HPV vaccine. Additional information about vaccinations is available through the school health office in your child's school by speaking with one of the school health reps here tonight in the hallway or by speaking to your pediatrician or doctor. For additional information or questions, I know this has been a lot to go over in one session, please contact our Welcome Center. We're also here to answer questions. You can visit them at the SciFac Center or call or email for assistance. Have a great night. Thank you for coming. Please ask us if you have questions.